How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming out, been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This'll be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Look who's back again. Terry's back. Tell your friends. Hey, Terry, how have you been, my man?
Oh, good. I had a good time. Did up at Reno with my family, with my siblings and everything, and actually did pretty well. I did really well at Delaware. I hit 2 pick fours there. One of them was 900, and I think the other one was like 6.
Nice.
And I hit a pick 4 at Charlestown, and I picked 5. So
you were collecting some change while you're up in Reno. So maybe you should do your picks while you're up there, Terry.
I should, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I basically broke even for the whole trip, but that's good because I paid for everything. So
yeah. If you're paying for everything and you break even, you really didn't break even. You made money. I would say that's
right.
the case, right? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And before we get started, like always, today, guaranteed tip sheet is the free track of the day. Today, there is a link down in the description below. You'll see if you hit thistle down, the track is fast. And in race number 1, Flipping Fish, 7-2 morning line is a best bet to get the day started at Thistledown in Ohio, home of our good friend Terry TD Touchdown Houghton. Speaking of TDs, Terry, the NFL season is going to get started. Who's going to win a Super Bowl? San Francisco 49ers.
that's right. 49ers going to win it.
I think we're going to see the real Brock Purdy this year. The one that I kept thinking would show up last year, but never did. So we'll find out if indeed we get right. All right, Terry, let's see if we can get some horse racing picks right today. That's our goal. We're going to do Parx as we do on Monday and Tuesday, but tomorrow, because Saratoga has closed, we're going to do Parx again tomorrow. Charles and I, since we were off yesterday, Charles says everybody loves Parx, so we'll go ahead and give everybody what they want, Terry. And what do we want to have? What are we looking at here in the first race this week for us, at least anyway, at Parx?
Yeah, well, it's a 6 furlongs event, $75,000 claiming race versus $21,000 for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
So you got some winners in here. That's good to see. We also discussed the bunch of different things here. So profile of a winner being 1, and the profile of a 6 furlong winner on a dirt track at Bensalem, Pennsylvania, otherwise known as Parx. Used to be what, Philadelphia or something like that park, right?
Yeah, Philly Park. That's what I used
Park.
to call it.
So the tactical speed does win. You want to be close to the front. 37% of the time, if you're on the lead, you do score wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, you get a little bit of a bonus. We do some things around here that nobody else does, Terry. We do 1,000 simulations to calculate what we think are fair odds. So you can see here the morning line favorite, Jay Wass, looks like it should be a little bit of a maybe a little bit of an overlay at the morning line odds. We also do 1,000 simulations based upon early pace to see what horse has what % chance to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. Looks like one's got a standout opportunity. And C-Zone, based upon our projected early pace, which horses have a chance to mirror their best performances. The higher the number, the better. Terry, what good numbers do you see?
Yeah, it looks like to me the 2 has all the speed in the race. The only one that might give a little trouble is that 1. And so that 2 probably got to break out there, go all the way. The overlay is 1, as you said. It's supposed to be a little over or under even money, and it's like 6 to 5, 7 to 5. And then the C zones, the 2, 5, and 1 have the best looking C zones.
And so those 3 should have a pretty good race setup. Speaking of race setup, we also do pace handicapping here. The E-horses are horses that want to be on the lead. So think of a plane, a pilot going to steer the ship. EPs can steer the ship or co-pilot. And then you have the Ps, which are your pressure horses. They want to be co-pilots. They don't like to be the one in control of the controls. PCs are your flight attendants. I want to keep calling them stewardesses, but I found out that that's not the right term anymore. I got reprimanded, so I don't want to be reprimanded again. So they can be really anywhere on the plane. Usually they're middle to back, but they have some versatility like the EPs. The EPs and the PCs are your most versatile horses in the fields. C is your closer, sits in coach, wants to find its way to first class. And then the NC types are horses that have not been within 5 lengths of the leader in up to the last 10 races. Then finally, first stands for first-time starters. Pretty self-explanatory there, Terry. Looking at this race shape, everybody wants to be middle forward with the exception of the 4, Por Supuesto. That's your lone closer. I call those Sesame Street horses, the ones that don't look like any of the others. If you're looking for early speed, which tends to do very well at Parx, especially early in the week, Joke Meister, that 2 that you talked about in the simulation, Terry, 6-point advantage over the 4 horse. A little bit of a left arrow horse maybe there. Should be on your lead. Late speed, if that's your thing, like Christopher D'Souza, Dadashev, and Jwas, Verosun, a little bit better than everybody else, but not a lot. Total pace, our good friend Chris Parmalu loves total pace. Looks like Jwas, Joke Meister, really looks like minus the 3 and a 7. This race is pretty wide open in the opener, Terry. So how are you going to line them up?
Well, I'll tell you what, it is wide open, although I think there's one horse that really stands out. So that's the 1, Jay Wash. He finished second in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, has the highest last speed rating. And then the 4, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that name.
Por supuesto.
Yes.
Supuesto. There you go.
All right. He likes Parx Racing.
Well, come on, give it a rip now, Terry.
Persuaso.
There you go. Beautiful.
He likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 52% of his starts there. Likes the distance. He's been in the money 75% of the starts at this distance. Joke Meister, the 2 is my third pick. Early speed style will help his chances. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among the starters. And then number 5, Mr. Tuttle. His best start speed is close to the average winning speed, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet a $10 daily double with the 1-7, and then a $1 daily double with the 1, with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And we do have a $100 budget that we have to spend across the entirety of the card, hence the $100 challenge. So if we're going to the track with Ben Franklin for the day. I like the 1 horse too, Jay Was. And when you look at the race internals, they were better across the board last time out. Not all culminated in the top last race speed figure. Joke Meister, that 2 horse, Terry, is most likely your pace setter and going to catch a little bit of a weight break with that speed today with Sofia Vivas on board. Number 6, Dadashev. Fairly significant drop in class here for the 6 horse, Terry. Last race was plenty better than it looks with better early fractions. And then finally, Por Supuesto is the lone closer in this field, is dropping in class. I'm going to do a pick 5. I'm going to go with the 1, 2, with the 3, 5, 7. Going to single up the 1 again. Well, not single them up again. Single them up in race 3, 2, 4, 5, and 6 in race 4, and then another single to close out. So I have a hot dog pick 5 there, Terry. Hot dog Philly 5.
Yeah.
Our friend Christopher D'Souza, race number 1. He likes that 5 horse with that big C-zone score with the 2 and 4 for an exacta and trifecta box. And if, like Chris, you have questions, comments, picks, thoughts, it doesn't have to be at Parx, any track today where you think you have a winner, let us know. We're all interested in trying to cash more tickets. All right, so race number, my screen's buffering. All right, so what do we have? 3 minutes to race number 2? That gives us enough time, I feel like, Terry, to get a lot of stuff done for race number 2. So looking at race number 2, Terry, tell us about the conditions.
All right. In race number 2, it's a 7 furlongs event, claiming $7,500, and it's got a purse of $20,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 5th.
A significant day, that June 5th. 7 furlongs in at Parx does tend to favor, much like 6 furlongs, tactical speed. A few less go wire to wire at only 31%, still a pretty big number there. In the 7 furlong race, you have a pretty strong advantage for horses 1, 2, and 3, and then it goes inside out from there. So the closer you are to the rail, the better the post positions have been. Terry, in race number 2, perhaps a little bit of inside speed. Sure looks like one of them fits that bill.
That's right. And this is another race that there's really only one horse that shows quite a bit of speed, and that's that 3 horse. And then as far as the overlay goes, look at that 5 horse. That overlay is supposed to be under 2-1, and it's listed at 21 in the morning line.
What do you think is wrong there? Either our computer or the morning light maker. Something's not right.
Yeah, something. It'd be interesting to see just how that ends up. So anyway, the speeds, C-zones 6, 7, and 4 have the best C-zones, with the 6 having the highest.
Strong numbers there. Our race shape for race number 2, you see it's pretty balanced race. These 2 in here, the 4 horse could have a pretty good advantage in here as a lone EP type. If it can sit right behind the 3 and 6, if they go too fast, if they go too slow, the 4 horse as a EP could get himself on the front. Looking at the early speed, minus the 5 horse Crypt, Everybody else is kind of right there within margin. This one, every 5 points equals about 1 length. So Crypt could be maybe 4 lengths off the lead when the race gets started. But as they're coming down the stretch, we'll have a lot of late pace in there, Terry, with that 5 horse. Our total pace figures look like it belongs to the 3 and the 7. They're about, 5 to 8 points better than the next horse. Those two should be very competitive for a chance to get the W here, Terry. Who did you assign the win flag to?
I like that number 7 horse, Hurricane Highway. He finished third versus Tupper in his last race, has the highest high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 32% of the starts when taking a horse down 2+ classes. And the jockey is a high percentage winning jockey. And in his last 7 days, this jockey has won 3 out of 8 starts with a second and 2/3. Number 4, St. Marco's, my second pick. He drops a class today. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the third, JW's third, Mishi. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey. My long shot is number 6, Jumpstart. He has a high percentage winning jockey, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with the 4 horse. And then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4 with the 3, 4, 7, and 2, 5 with the 2, 4, 5, 6, and single with the 3.
I'm going to go real quick because they're loading up. I'm going to go with that flyer with the 5 horse Crypt. Pretty strong overlay. It did up its pace numbers across the board. And the last time the horse cut from a route to a sprint was the last time it won. That's what it's going to do today. Hurricane Highway, that 7 horse in here, Terry. Jamie Ness, the ownership group, they're going to lose money on this horse if it's claimed. Why? It looks to me like Jamie Ness wanted to get rid of a few horses today. I feel like this might be one of them. JW's third, Mischief, could be your pace setter, as our simulation says, Terry, but I'm not the biggest fan of horses that claim and then rise. Although if you claim them and you don't wait long enough, you got to put them up. Finally, the 6 horse Jump Shot drops to the lowest level that's run in its last 10 races. Was a tough call for me over the 4 horse, but the 4 regressed badly the last time it ran a peak number. If you look at the past performances, last race was a peak number. If we follow that same pattern, could be trouble. I'm going to do $1 exact the key box, 5 with the 3, 6, and 7. They're getting loaded up for race number 1. While they load for race number 1, let me go back and show you what I mean by peak number regression here with the 4 horse. You see that the 4 horse here ran an 81 speed figure. And if you look at that's kind of out of line with everything else that it did. Here it ran a peak speed number and then it dipped. I guess here you see another peak number and then another dip. So 3 for 3 that the horse peaked and dipped. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean, as they say in stock market world, that past performance means future performance. But when I see a reoccurring pattern like that, it's kind of hard for me to ignore it. You saw that up on the screen, right? I hope.
We did.
All right. Because I honestly, I can't see what's on the screen when I'm on my screen.
We saw it.
So race number 1, looks like right now the 1 horse is your 4 to 5 favorite. A couple of them are giving a little bit of difficulty loading into the gates at the moment. The 2 horse is next up, the Joke Meister at 3 to 1. Next up after that is the 4 horse, Terry. Por supuesto. And then it looks like once the 7 Vero Sun goes in, they'll be ready to rock and roll and get this Tuesday, this terrific Terry Trifecta Tuesday rolling in Ben Salem, Pennsylvania.
You want to move us to the first race so we can see that? Oh, you did.
I got us on the other one.
Yeah, there we go.
And they're off. A pretty aggressive start across the board right there, Terry. It does look like everybody but the 2 horse is really kind of competing for the lead a little bit. The 7 has kind of tailed off a bit too. The 1 horse, Jawas, has indeed moved to the front of the pack. That 2 horse, which was projected to be the pace setter, that one kind of got off to a sluggish start, and then the jockey on it, Luis Riviera, decided to hit the afterburners right there and rush it up. Never a big fan of that action from the jockey, Terry. What about you?
No, I think it really expends a lot of energy doing that, and most of the time they end up flattening out in the stretch.
Well, they went through the opening quarter in 23. I'm going to guess the way that horse rushed up there, it ran 22 and change, and it's already starting to flatten out, like you said, Terry. Its head's cocked to the side, looking for other horses. I think he kind of blew the 1 horse up the track. So your 5 horse right now, Terry, looks like it's going to be the one that everybody has to run down. Although this 4 horse, On the outside is making an aggressive move up into the lane. So it looks like your winner is going to be the 4 horse. It's going to go 4. And then I think that's a 6 horse. 4, 6, 1. And then 4, 6, 1. And then up on the rail is 7. 4, 6, 1. 4,
Well, it
6,
looks like
1.
then you have the trifecta there.
Yeah, but my hot dog.
Yeah, both
killed.
of my daily double picks are gone. So
Yeah, and the 4 horse went off at 7-2. Morning line was 5-2, and then that 6 horse was 10-1 morning line. It finished at 7-1, and then the 1 horse was your favorite at 6-5. So I mean, that trifecta probably paid $13, $14 somewhere in there for 50 cents. Terry would be what I suspect.
yep. All righty.
All righty, let's go on to race number 3. Hopefully, we have a little bit more luck in terms of what our suggested wagers are looking like. In race number 3, Terry, you're going to tell us again what they're racing for.
It's a miles race with claiming price of $5,000. It's got a purse of $18,000. This is the first one with the girls. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since March 5th.
For a bit there. So 1 mile does favor early speed, much like a 6 furlong race. Just surprisingly, 38% so far have gone wire to wire at Parx with some early speed. There is an inside out edge for post 1, 2, and 3. Everything else performs a little bit under par there, Terry. So maybe the inside horses with some decent odds might make sense. Is there any inside speed? Because that's what the bias tells us.
Well, there's a lot of speed in this race. As you can see, the 5, 2, and 6 show some pretty good speed. Although the 5 has the most speed. So the 5 has also a small overlay. It's supposed to be 5-2, and it's 3-1 the morning line. All have speed, as I said, most of them, but the most is the 5, and the 1 and the 2 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, they kind of stand out in there. Only a 4 horse field. So remember when we had on Scott Fiedler from the winning a lot of those contests, and he said always in these short fields, take the longest priced horse. And that looks like it's going to be JJ Does Billy. That's what they do in the contests anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're in a contest today, you see a lot of people with that 6 horse in their picks. Wouldn't shock me at all. And then race number 3 in this 4 horse field, as far as the race shape is concerned, very well balanced, Terry. Everyone's got their own position. The 1 horse in here that might have a little bit of an advantage is the 2 horse because it is the PC type, meaning it has some versatility. So it can run on the front, it can run in the middle. It probably has the most patience in the group. Looking at it, the 1 wants to have the lead, Terry, but according to the early pace figures, might not be there at all. But then again, it's only off by a handful of points. So if they get on the gas, it can get to the lead. Late speed wise, the 5 horse does have the most late speed. But again, everybody except the 6 horse in there has pretty similar late legs. When you look at the total pace figures, the 5 and the 2 stand above the rest, Terry. So maybe the 5 or the 2 produces the winner. You put them in that order.
That's right. I like that 5 horse, Carly Hustle. She finished second in her last 2 races, and she's returning to her route. Should that help? It should help. Pecan Patty, the 2, has the highest speed figure at today's distance and her best dirt speed, fastest among today's starters. Kentucky Pride, my 3rd choice. The 1 drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 28% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, and the rail post is winning at a 21% clip. 6 is my long shot, JJ Loves Billy. She has 4 wins at Parx Racing.
So likes the track for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with the shot there. I'm going to go with the Kentucky Pride off that multiple class drop. Also has a chance to be better in its second start after a layoff. Strong C-zone score should be part of the lead. Strong rail, all of the above in a short field. Number 2, Pecan Patty gets the second call for me. Been regressing, but maybe the 3rd start after a layoff. Our good friend Charles, the Big Boopa's favorite handicapping angle. Carly Hustle is likely to be your pace setter. Did run a Z pattern in its last race. In case you're new here, I'll kind of walk through what a Z pattern looks like in race number 3. So in race number 3, Carly Hustle, Z pattern, you see the early pace was a 79. Then it dropped to 72. So you got that. And then it went back up and then the 80. So your Z pattern. A lot of time those horses do well the next time out. And then finally, the 6 horse is the last call for me, Terry. That one, and because that's the last horse in the race, right?
Yeah.
One has to be 4th. That one showed a little better fractions last time out. Like you, I'm going to skip the 4-horse field in terms of making a bet.
All right. And going back to that second race, Christopher D'Souza likes the 3 to win, and he wants a 3, 2, 5 exacta and try box.
And then Don saying Vias. I'm not sure what that means, but we can maybe put that in Google Translate and see. Probably telling you and I, like, look at these 2 old guys up here picking horses. All right. Let's take our experience, Terry. That's what we'll go instead of age, our experience to race number 4.
That's right. So on race number 4, what we have here is 6 furlongs. It's an optional claiming $16,000 claiming price, $25,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $16,000, and which has never won 2 races.
So when the horse is in for optional claiming, it means they can't be bought. We use Brisnet in terms of our sheets. We don't have any deal with them. We wish we did. We've tried to reach out to them a couple times, but crickets. But in any case, if the horse was in for a claim, in other words, people could buy it, you would see that $16,000 right there. You see with the 1 horse, it's not there. And then you see with the 2 horse Skyhook, it is there. So if you wanted to buy Skyhook, you could if you were at the Ben Salem track today. In race number 4, Terry, again, 6 furlongs does tend to favor tactical speed. 37% of the time, the horses go wire to wire. And then you look at the post positions, 1 through 7 play fair. You do get a little bit of a bonus if you wear the 8 or out. 8 doesn't come into play, but there's plenty of speed on the inside today.
Yeah, the 4, 5, and 1 have most of the speed in here, although all the horses show some speed. And then the 1 has a large overlay. It's supposed to be 5 to 2. It's listed at 5 to or 10 to 1 on the morning line. The 4 also has a pretty nice overlay, 2 to 1 versus 8 to 1 on the morning line. The 5, 6, 1, and 2 have all the best C-zone numbers.
Pretty good strength and C-zone there. In the 4th spot, race Quattro. Look at this race shape, Terry. You see a wall of speed over here with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and not the 7. You want to talk about a Sesame Street horse. The 6 horse is all alone on its own island over there. It's like Tom Hanks, right?
That's right.
What was the name of the volleyball? Do you remember the name of the volleyball? Was it Wilson, right? Yeah, Wilson.
It was Wilson.
So the 6 horse is Wilson in this picture. So of these, you probably want the speed of the speed. Let's see who gets that designation there, Terry. We have the 2, 5, and 4 a little bit better than everybody else, but even the 6 horse, Terry, is in this mix. That makes him an absolute left arrow horse. Even though all this wall of speed might be there, that won't be too far behind. Question is, who does have the most late legs in that? And it is the 1 horse. Hot Love, scoring a little bit better than Harley's Charlie. And then finally, our total pace horse, the 1, the 2, the 5. I mean, look at this, Terry. This is a pretty competitive race, except for maybe the 3 and the 7. Those 2 might be on the outside looking in. So maybe you could put an X through those in your selections and just focus on the other 5. What did you do?
Well, I like the 6 horse Harley Charlie. His early speed running style will help the chances. He can improve at this shorter distance because he has that early speed running style, and he has a highest speed figure at today's distance. Muttley is the 5 horse, is my second choice. He finished 3rd versus similar in last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Skyhook, the 2, is my 3rd choice. Won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 4, Little JP, is my long shot. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and his early speed style will help his chances. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4 because I think this is pretty wide open. I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to single the 3 in the 5th race. Then I'm going to go with the 3, 4, 5, 7, and then finish up with the 1, 4, 5, 6.
We have a similar strategy, just a few different horses along the way in there. In our pick 4, I like the 6 horse here on the top 2, Terry. Harley's Charlie, gotta like the name too. Probably raced way above its level last time out in an allowance race. Going to drop in class. Should be as good or maybe a touch better in the 2nd race after a little bit of a layoff. And as we showed in the pace setup, really could have an advantage sitting behind that speed with some late legs, and does have enough early giddy up and go not to get too far behind. Skyhook, the Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. That is an alpha angle, according to Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper. I'm a little bit skeptical about its chances to win coming off the maiden claiming win in the 10th race. Took him 10 races to win one. Can he go back to back and race 10 and 11? Little JP, 3 consecutive speed figure increases for this one too. Did hold his speed longer last time out despite running a stronger or longer distance. So that's usually a good sign of a horse getting fit. And finally, Muttley could be the speed of the speed here, Terry, as we see in the simulations in here. Does have the top C zone of all the speed horses. So that's the one that might like the trip the best. And I'm going to do a pick 4 as well. I like you, Terry. I like the 2, 4, 5, and 6. I think this race is a little open. Hopefully we catch a little bit of a price in here. I'm going to put the 3, 8 in the next leg with the 7. I'm going to single the 7 in the third leg, and then 1, 3, 4, 5. So structurally, we're not all that far apart, Terry. We kind of see the races in a similar way.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to, let's see what we got to go in here. JW, how you doing today? Twin Spires, Churchill's Downs, Archie, probably because of when they did when they had the outing and they didn't give anybody, what was it, $5 or something like that?
Yeah, they were out a long time too.
A whole day, I think, Terry.
Yeah,
out, right?
Yeah,
they were out for a little while. Let's go on to race number 5. You know, it's funny. My phone is ringing right now, Terry, and it's U.S. Bank who happens to have my mortgage. Maybe that's a little bit more information than I should give. There was some paperwork snafu on their end, Terry. They've been hounding me for like 3 months now. I've gotten the insurance people on the phone. I've sent them the documents they requested multiple times, and they just can't seem to get it straightened out. So if anybody here works at U.S. Bank, knows anybody at U.S. Bank, maybe there's some managerial positions available for folks who can actually get stuff done. Race 4, Christopher D'Souza. He likes the 7 to score on the win alone. So keep that in mind. It's a potential single in race number 7 for you. All right, Terry, in the 5th race, again, they're going to kind of do what we've seen a little bit already a couple times today.
Yeah, it's another 6 furlong race, a $5,000 claimer, $18,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since March 5th.
All right, March 5th race, 6 furlongs again. By now, you could probably recite it with me. Tactical speed wins 37% of the time. They get the lead. They never give it up. Wire to wire to the winner's circle. Post 1 through 7, play fair. 8 and out, you get a little bit of extra juice. And then we would have had an 8th horse in here, but with the scratch 7 years later, back to a 7-horse field. Terry, what do you see from the numbers here?
Well, the 3 shows the most speed, although every one of them in there shows some kind of speed. And then the 3 is a small overlay. It's the only one really in the race. It's just under even money, like maybe 4 to 5, and it's listed at about 7 to 5 or 8 to 5 on the morning line. All of them have good C-zone numbers except for that 2 and 3.
Yeah, maybe the 3 might not like being up on the lead there, Terry. Let's see how that race shapes out in race number 5. You do see, again, look at this, Terry. 6 of the 7 horses want to be middle or forward, on the lead or press the lead. That could open the door up for the Sesame Street horse to close at the end there. Wasn't sponsor, you guys. It was Brisnet that wouldn't sponsor us. I think they fall for that too. And Twin Spires and Churchill, we tried to do it, but they'll only do what's called CPA, cost per acquisition. So we have to do all the marketing, everything. And unless somebody opens an account and funds it, you don't get anything. So I'm not a big fan of the CPAs. You do all the work and you don't necessarily get anything in the back end. And it does look like here, all these guys might do a lot of work up front with the 8 horse on the back end, Terry. So again, speed is going to play a factor in this race. But if you look from top to bottom, there's only a 1 length difference between Gia's Fuego and Boca Royalty. That's not a whole lot of a difference. And then late speed wise, the 8 horse does pop up there, but might be a little bit too far behind the 3 horse to catch up. Our total pace figures show that the 3 and the 8 are tops, with this one being about 9 points higher than the 3rd race. So I think the 3 and the 8, Terry, either on the front or coming from off the back, might get the W here. What do you think?
I like this 3. It's my bet of the day at Parx. Gia's Fuego. Fuego,
Fuego. Gia's Fuego.
Fuego. I'm not. Yeah, I
Gia's
can't.
Fire.
She ran second versus Tupper in her last race at Parx Racing. Drops in class today. Has the highest last speed rating. Bachi, the number one, is my second pick. She ran second versus Tupper in her last race and drops in class today. And then 8, Boca Reality. She finished third versus Similar in her last race and likes the distance. 7, BB's Rockets, my long shot, finished second. Finished in the money in 3 out of her last 4 races, and the distance won't be a problem. Now I'm going to play a $1 exacta key box, 3 with all, and I did that up in Reno. And I hit one that paid me $288 because the horse that won it paid $85 and beat the hard favorite. So that's a good way to go if you just want to spend maybe, $10 or something. I think
well, in that case, just what do you got here? You got a 7 horse field.
Yeah,
well, that's
so
a $14 ticket. Right?
Yeah, well, $12.
Oh yeah, $12. Yes, 6.
Yeah, and I was ecstatic because I actually only did it with I think 6 horses. So the horse that won it really looked terrible, and it for some reason it came and beat that short price one. But anyway, and then I'm going to bet $10 to win on the 3.
Yeah, I agree with you, JW. Whether it's Churchill or Brisnet or any of the above, they're not willing partners. This is an interesting business in my viewpoint because we take a lot of their data, and all the stuff you see up here comes out of their data. And I can tell you, I have a zillion other ideas floating around up in my head that if I had a little bit of support, Brisnet, I think we can create some wonderful visuals that might actually help you sell more PPs. Any case, for me, I like the 3 horse too, Mr. Terry. That one is Gia's Fuego, Gia's Fire. Top last race speed figure. Going to drop in class off of that. A lot of times I've seen horses with the top last race speed figure dropping in class to come out and win the next time around. And this one's going to benefit with the 7 year later scratching because that was the main threat, to be on the front. We talked about Boca's Royalty is the lone closer versus a bunch of other horses in here that want to be middle or forward. Does have the top late pace, but again, as we saw with this race, should be pretty close to the front. Bachi, the 1 horse, going to drop in class, going to catch a weight break with that drop in class. And last race out showed some new enthusiasm at the end. So maybe some fitness signs right there for us to pay attention to. And finally, takes two to wiggle. This one's going to drop in class and as a track dropper, going to try Parx for the first time. So maybe it might like the track at a nice price too. What the heck? Could be one that fattens up our exactas or trifectas. That's what I'm hoping here with the 3-8, 1-3-8, 1-2-3-7-8 is my trifecta for 50 cents, my suggested wager. And then in race number 5, Christopher D'Souza, before we go on to race number 6, likes the 7-8-1 with the 7 as your winner in race number 5. Terry, I think we got quite a bit of time. Yeah, 6 minutes to race number 2. So we can make it even maybe through 2 races before we discuss race 2. Race 6, Terry, what are the particulars for this one?
All right. In this race 6, it's a 1 mile and 70 yards, the first distance race, claiming $5,000 claiming price with an $18,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races since March 5th.
Again, we'll talk about profile of a winner, as we like to do. Get a good composite, what it takes to win. 1 mile and 70 yards, again, does favor early speed in here. 30% of the time, they go wire to wire. Again, we find an inside-out bias. That's not too surprising, considering if you look where the start-finish line is. You got the start here. Turn's going to come pretty quickly, so not too shocking that the inside 3 will have a little bit of an advantage. Although most of the posts 1 through 7 are fair. And if you happen to wear an 8 or out, you do catch a little bit of extra flack. So I think you're looking for in race number 6, a little bit of inside speed, Terry, but it doesn't look like that's where you're going to find it.
No, the 7 shows the most speed on that outside, although all of the short horses show some speed. As far as the overlay goes, the 5 has a small overlay from just over 2-1 simulated odds to 3-1 on the morning line, but the 6 has a really nice, 6 is scratched, so that doesn't matter.
I think you're thinking about the 7.
Yeah, the 7. Oh, I'm sorry. The 7 has a really good overlay from 2-1 to 6-1. And then as far as the C zones, 1, 7, 5, and 4 show the best C zone numbers.
And we do like this combination right here. Strong C-zone, good chance to get on the lead, nice strong simulation odds. That trifecta usually performs pretty well in horses that you might want to make sure that you look at a second or third time before leaving them off your ticket. Looking at the race shape for the 6th of 10 races today, Terry, this is an opposite of what we saw last time. The 7 horse stands out there as your lone E. We just saw in the simulation that it's probably going to be the one that is on the lead. If we take a look at the early pace recency numbers, we got 8 points better than Yes Sir Colonel, a 4 horse, a PC type. So I think the 7's going to get to the lead, Terry, with the 4 probably chasing. Everybody else is pretty far behind. So the only one that might keep the 7 company is that 4 horse. Late speed, that belongs to the 5. Running for home, of course, the 2 closers scoring out pretty well. It's the speed horse right there, and the 4 might really tail off. Our total pace paints the picture of a really competitive race, except for maybe the 4 horse, but even it's only 13 points off. Causalistic, and then Mr. Winstrom. Terry, it's going to be the closer, or is it going to be the speed horse for you?
I think it's a closer, number 5, Running for Home. He traveled to Penn's National, won a race, and now returns to Parx Racing, where he has won 5 of his starts. And, so many times I see a horse that's not doing too well or isn't winning a race at a certain track. They'll go to another track, win that race. It must give them some confidence because they come back and do very well. The number 4 horse is my second choice, Yes Sir Colonel. He likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 46% of the starts, winning 23% of the races, and likes the distance 52% of the time in the money, and he won 22% of those races. Mr. Winston, the 7, he drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey, 3rd pick. My long shot is Cartier Cat. He won his last race at Monmouth Park, returns to Park Racing, and drops in class and has a high percentage winning trainer. No bet for me in this race.
I'm going to go with that 7, Mr. Winston. It's going to have, I think, a pretty aggressive early pace advantage, and then it's going to drop in class, which should accentuate that early speed. The 5 horse, Running for Home, the closer that you have on top, Terry, was a little bit better in terms of its in-race pace numbers last time out and should be closing late, but everybody else in here is going to be closing too. Yes, Sir Colonel, aggressive drop in class, but the horse has been regressing, so it needs probably to face lighter company. Has the back class to make this one easy if it can rediscover that form, although I didn't see anything anywhere that said that it might wake up today, but you never know. And then Causalistic, lowest level in its last 10 races, been performing at a level that's really more than competitive for the group in here, especially for the win. And 15-1 morning line odds seems really off to me on that horse, Terry. So I wonder if the morning line maker knows something and is trying to tell us with the odds. I'm going to do a $1 double. I'm going to bet that 7 to get on the front and never give it up. And then I'm going to put all on the back end. So if I can hit the first leg, that makes that one a guaranteed winner. And then you're hoping with your fingers crossed for the biggest payout to come through as the winner in the second leg.
That's right. I do that a lot of times. So,
all right. I think we got about 3 minutes to race number 7, Terry.
Okay.
3 minutes before race number 2. Before we can get to race number 7. Let's go through the particulars for race number 7. And then if race 2 starts to load up and get ready to go, we'll come back to race 7.
All right. It's a 5.5 furlong race for maiden claimers, $30,000 claiming price, purse $28,000. It's for maidens 2-year-olds.
So anything can happen in race number 7, Terry. So what you're kind of looking for with these babies, 5.5 furlongs, stalkers actually outperform. You would think speed horses would get the job done at Parx on a short race, but no. But 35% of the time, they still manage to go wire to wire. Very strong inside 3 edge. 4 through 7, they get squeezed. A nice size discount there. And then 8 and out, a rebound, just a touch better than par, Terry. So looking for a little bit of speed in race number 7, Terry, like right around the front. Again, babies don't have a whole lot of data under their belt, but this is what we have so far.
Yeah, the 5 and the 7 show the most speed. And then as far as the overlay, the 4 has a nice little overlay. It's supposed to be under even money, like about 3 to 5. And it's listed at 5 to 2 in the morning line. Look at that 5, though. That's a big overlay on that 5. Almost 2 to 1, but it's listed at 5 to 1. The 1, 5, 6, and 7 have good C-zone numbers.
at least what they've done so far in the races. So race number 2, they're still walking to the gate. So let's take a look at the race shape for lucky race number 7. So far, none of these horses, Terry, have been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish circle. That's going to change for somebody today, for sure. And then the 3-horse Neudorf is your lone first-time starter up in here, Terry. Let's see. Are they heading towards the post? We still got time. So if you go through your picks pretty quickly, we can probably get it done before the race starts.
All right. Number 6, we got Barnyard, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. The 4-horse, my second choice, drops in class today, has the highest last speed figure. And then his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Savage Dragon, the 5 is my 3rd pick, drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 30% of the starts when taking a horse from maiden to a maiden claiming race. And then the one, My Heart Will Goon, my long shot, drops in class today and has the rail post win in 23% clip. I like a pick 4 though. I'm going to play a hot dog 1, 4-6 with the 1-5 with the 2-6 with the 1-5.
That's the Noah 2x2x2x2.
That's
I
it.
like the 4-horse in here as my top pick. Bali Amor, maiden special weight dropper with the top last race speed figure by a decent margin. So biggest drop in class that you can make in the maiden levels, and many think in racing. And then that speed figure was much better than anything anybody else produced. Number 5, Savage Dragon, major improvement from its debut to race number 2. Same improvement here, could get the job done. My Heart Will Goon, must be an English soccer fan. It's another maiden special weight dropper. First time gelded, but what catches my eye, this horse has a pair of 1-mile workouts since its last race. So it should be fit enough to run 5.5 furlongs all out. Finally, Neudorf, the 3-horse, first time starter. The workout pattern that's been paying off for me, a bullet workout followed by 3 maintenance workouts. Pick 4, 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to single the 4 in the next leg with the 1, 3, 6, with the 1, 2, 5, and 8. And let's see if we have a chance to show you real quick what that looks like. No, race number 2 is about to get up and go. So here we go in race number 2, and I'll come back to that pattern that I've seen for first-time starters that work out pretty well. In race number 2, as they go out of the gates, everyone broke pretty sharply. The 5-horse is the Crypt, which is way back there like we predicted it might be. The 3-horse, JW's 3rd Mischief. That one is absolutely on the lead as predicted. To its outside is Jump Shot, the 6-horse. Right behind them is the 7-horse, which I think is your favorite at 2-1. On the rail, you have the 2-horse at 16-1, Iraq Gin. And then the 4-horse at the back of the pack as they go through the opening quarter in race number 2 for a 7-furlong race in 23-2. That 5-horse, Terry, which was a 20-1 morning line, has since moved its way into contention, probably 3 lengths off the lead. The 6-horse is now nosed in front of the 3-horse. The 2-horse and the 7 are battling up. I got to say, just looking at it, Terry, the 5-horse looks like it's moving the best to me right now.
Wow.
They're not really asking it to go. We'll see if it can get up to the lane. It's going to cut the corner here. The 6-horse has edged in front of the 3-horse. I just need this 5-horse to find its way in a second. I might have a winning bet. He's trying to go through the rail there. The 7-horse on the outside is making a big move. The 5-horse is starting to flatten out. Here comes the 4 on the outside. The 7-horse right now, Terry, is your leader. The 4-horse is coming with a lot of aggression late. I think the 4-horse might actually catch up and get him there, Terry, but I don't know because the jockey hasn't asked the 7. 7, 4, 2, and then the 5. 7, 4, 2, and then the 5. That's how race number 2 went. Fortunately, my 5-horse flattened out around the corner, but he ran better than his odds said he would run, Terry.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I should have done was that instead of using that first race and then going to all on the double, I should have used the 7 back to all in the first race. So
yes, Hurricane Highway, getting that job done. I got to say, to be honest with you, that I wasn't quite sure what Jamie Ness is trying to do with that horse because even winning this race, I'm probably pretty sure because they claimed it, I think at like 16 grand. I would be shocked if someone didn't put a claim in on that horse. Yeah. So if he loses the horse, they actually lost money. And it was a pretty good effort at the end there because the jockey never really asked him for more while the 4-horse was coming up pretty hard. So
yeah, he didn't. He just hand rode him most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
He got him a couple of times coming down the stretch, but then hand rode him from that point on, I think. Yeah.
Bet of the day for race number 7, the 7-horse to win. I thought you were going to say race number 2 there, Christopher D'Souza. But there you go. So he's like the 7 with the 715 try box. Let's go back to race number 7 real quick, Terry, because I left off with this pattern that I had noticed on your first-time starter. One of the patterns that's in our good friend Barry Meadows' book is what I call the bullet and go. The bullet and go would be the last workout here, getting the circle, which indicates the fastest of all the workouts at that distance for the day. Here you have a bullet workout. I got to admit, it's not the fastest of times, 101 for 5 furlongs on a good surface, but it's not the slowest of times. So they actually asked the horse to run. So you have this backdated bullet, and then you have 1, 2, 3 maintenance workouts afterwards. So I'm kind of reading that the trainer right in here wants to see what the horse is capable of. And if the horse shows it's got it, then after that, they just sharpen the saw, like Stephen Covey says. They don't want to get the horse over the edge. They just want to keep it fit. And I've seen so many first-time starters with this similar pattern. Sometimes it's 2 workouts afterwards. Sometimes it's 1. Sometimes it can be 4. But you see a relatively recent bullet followed by a few maintenance workouts. And that thing has been hitting a lot.
Although that second one on August 12th is a really nice one, 49 flat, breezing from the gate, 18th out of 95. That's a pretty nice workout right there.
Yeah, so you do see another pretty solid stiff effort in there. So that's something that's been working for me. So when you're going through first-time starters and you're trying to find something, an angle, because it all looks the same because you really don't know what to do, people coming off the bench for the first time, that's something I have been finding success with. So put that in your notebook. All right, Terry, let's put race number 8 into our digital notebook or video notebook. Okay. They're going to do what here?
It's a 1-mile race, optional claiming for $25,000 if you want to put it in for a claiming price. And you can see there the one does have a $25,000 claiming price. And then the purse is $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less and which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $25,000 and which has never won 2 races.
A mile, the profile of a miler at Parx does favor horses with early speed. A big number, 38 out of 100 of them have gone wire to wire. You have an inside out with the 1, 2, and 3 benefiting from that post position bias. Anything outside of that, Terry, performs under par. So if you got a little bit of inside speed in race number 8, you got a pretty good shot to get the race won here, although the inside speed doesn't necessarily fit with the 1, 2, or 3, but it's right next door.
That's right. That 4 has the best speed of all, although the what's that? The 7 may say a little bit, have say there, but there are 2 really nice overlays. That's 3 is supposed to be like 5 to 1. And it's 10 to 1 in the morning line. And then the 5 is supposed to be like 4 to 5, and it's listed at 9 to 2 on the morning line. They all have good C zones except for the 1.
And the 3 a little off on that one, too.
Yeah.
3 races to go, starting off at race number 8 here, Terry. Pretty good balanced race. You got 4 that want to be forwardly placed, 4 that want to close. So everybody should be pretty comfortable with that trip that they get. If you're looking for early speed, the 4-horse Kenner, 5 points better than North Pole. So it should be a length out on the lead there with Kenner at the quarter-mile marker. We kind of saw that when we looked at the simulations. The 4 had a pretty good shot to be your pace setter. Supreme Being and Winged Foot, along with North Pole, a little bit better than everybody else. There's a pretty precipitous drop if you get all the way down to titanium wreckage. That one's going to be, it could lose about 5 lengths as the race goes on. As far as the total pace, 3 horses in here, Terry. The 1, the 4, and the 5 that stand pretty clear above the rest. About 10 points better than Smarten Up. I think the 5-1-3 could be an exacta box in there, could be a trifecta box in there, but I think the winner is probably in there.
Well, I like that 5 North Pole. He's been knocking at the door, finishing second in his last 3 races at Parx Racing, and he's earned the highest last speed rating. Number 1, Wingfoot's my second choice. He won his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Kenner, the 4, ran second versus Tougher on the turf in his last race, so he's on the dirt again, I think. Drops in class today. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 31% of the starts when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. The long shot is the 8, Smarten Up. He has finished. He has a high percentage winning trainer and a bullet workout on August 26th. No bet for me in this race.
I'm going to go with Kenner, the 4-horse, put him on top with all that early speed there. And then you got the dynamic Parx duo of Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera. Third start off, the layoff, going to drop in class. Those things should work to its benefit. The 1-horse, Winged Foot, won his last race. That was on Delaware turf. Going to flip back to dirt, coming off the maiden claiming win. Maybe I should kind of put that horse down a little bit, but another Jamie Ness horse in here. Number 5, North Pole. Going to be on the gas from Go. Terry should be your pace setter in here, at least try. This horse is going to run the right distance. It's done so 11 times, has 5 wins and 5 thirds. That tells me that this is a horse that's a professional maiden in there, Terry. Wants to hang late. Fine, number 8, Smarten Up. Does have the best Parx numbers in here. Does have a bullet workout in its last race and last workout before coming back after a little bit of time off. First start since the middle of June. So maybe the horse is juiced up and ready to go. Maybe wrong word for horse racing. Maybe the horse is hyped up and ready to go. I'm going to do a trifecta 1, 4, 5 with the 1, 4 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Yeah, juiced up in horse racing has a whole different meaning, right?
That's right.
And those trainers that are juicing them up are getting themselves in a little bit of trouble nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move off to the last 2 races. The first leg of the late daily double. Terry, tell us all about it.
6 furlongs of $5,000 or $50,000 optional claiming race. That's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
First $40,000. The purse is up to 40 for fillies and for fillies, 3-year-olds or fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, and which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $50,000, which have never won 3 races. And as you can see there, that Wildcat Girl is you going in for that $50,000 claiming price.
Yes, if you want to own Wildcat Girl, that's for Terry. That's walk around money right there. For me, that's a lifetime of savings. But 6 furlongs again, we can recite together. You have tactical speed, 37% of the time, wire to wire, post positions 1 through 7, play fair, 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. So once again, Terry, in race number 8, we're probably looking for a horse with race number 9, excuse me. We're looking for a horse with a little bit of inside speed, and we find one in here.
That's right. Comedy Act shows the most speed in there, although the 5 has a little bit of speed also. And then the 3 has a nice little overlay of from 9 to 2 up to 8 to 1. And the 5 is from just under 2 to 1 to 4 to 1. The C zones are that 4 and that 5. So.
Yeah, you're looking at the 4 all by itself.
Yeah.
Kisses for Emily. We got to be careful for that one. That one might sneak up into your exactas and trifectas. Maybe if things go its way, could steal that race. In race number 9, our race shape, pretty balanced. You got the 4 and the 5. They want to be on the front. The 6 and the 2 want to be in the middle. That 6-horse Dream Concert, though, could really get the ideal setup again as a versatile EP horse. Can pilot, can co-pilot, can do whatever it needs to do up front. It'll be up front there too, Terry. You see it along with Comedy Act and Bloom. Those 3. Actually, there's 3 horse over here, Terry. Gets that left arrow designation again. A closing horse with enough early speed to be a part of the early pace. If it has the late legs to get the job done, might not. That could be Kisses for Emily, Terry. Along with Wildcat Girl, the closer right there. And then the speed horse, Blom, having some late pace. But again, if you look at this, everybody's pretty close. This race, at least according to the total pace, says that it's only a 1-length difference if everybody runs exactly to these numbers. So trip, start, all those type of things can make a huge difference in what looks like a very competitive race. How did you break it down?
I like the number 2 Charm Alarm. First choice, finished in the money in 8 out of 8 career races, winning the last start, and has a bullet workout on August 23rd. Dream Concert, the 6th, my second choice. Drops in class today, can improve while returning to the dirt, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 19% of the starts when taking a horse from turf to dirt, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Bloom, the 5 is my third pick, has been the bridesmaid in her last 3 starts and will try to be the bride today by winning, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1 is Wildcat Girl. She only needs to repeat her last race win and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. As far as the bet, just the $1, 2 Daily double, the 2 with the 1.
I'm going to start with the Wildcat Girl. You end off. I'll begin. 4 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. So sending up the ladder and putting up the top last race. Speed figure last time out. And in doing so, it actually ran some quicker fractions at 6 furlongs than the prior start at 5.5 furlongs. But it is a pretty aggressive step up in class here. Dream Concert, major class drop for this one from a pair of non-graded stakes wins. And it is running at absolutely the right distance. 3 times out, a couple of wins in a not too far off second. Ran other distances 3 times and hasn't hit the board yet. So 6 furlongs is right for Dream Concert. What would be your Dream Concert, Terry? Who would you like to see?
Oh, the ones I would like to see aren't here anymore. Like,
well, that could be a dream in the dream sense, right?
Roy Orbison was a good one, and then I liked what's her name? Geez,
Janis Joplin. I think you said that before.
I love Janis Joplin. She would be a good one too. Yeah. So.
Or you're talking about Fleetwood Mac?
Well, they're good. Yeah, I like them too.
You're killing me with these just passed. Okay, I can't guess who it was that just passed.
It's a lady, and she was just so good. I went to 3 different concerts that she gave, and she just so much energy. Anyway,
I can't think who it is either. Anyway, for me, I would say Jimi Hendrix. I'd like to go see Jimi Hendrix, right? Icon of the rock guitar. Comedy Act is a left arrow horse, as we mentioned in our pace setup. You got Ruben Silvera, Jamie Ness again, try and track for the first time at Parx, and then blow him 3 consecutive speed figure increases and was better late. So the speed horse with some new late race enthusiasm, put speed with endurance together. That's a winning combination. Trifecta for me, 1, 3, 6 with the 1, 6 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 race to go. Hold on 1 second right here. We get Christopher D'Souza in race number 9, the 4 horse to win with the 4, 6, 3 exacta trifecta box. And neither one of us has that 4 horse, Terry, but he loves those C-zone scores, and I like them too.
All right.
Last race of the day.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going to pull it up for you, Terry. You're ready to go, so let me just get everything prepped for you.
6 furlongs. It's a maiden claiming race, $25,000. It's $26,000 purse, 3-year-olds and upwards.
All right, so pretty straightforward there. 6 furlongs. We already know it. Tactical speed, a lot go wire to wire. You're best if you're wearing an 8 out, but everything is kind of fair. And this is another one of those races, Terry, where they're not a lot of experience with these horses, so the data might be a little bit misleading. But if it's not misleading, it sure looks like a couple of them have some early speed.
Yeah, the 8 shows the most speed, but the 5 and the 2 have some speed also, along with the 1 Bronx tail. Mm-hmm. And then as far as the overlay, the 1 has a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be like 2 to 5. It's listed at 8 to 5 in the morning line. And then as far as the C-zones, they all got some C-zone numbers, but the 6, 5, 7 have the best.
And Private Cabana getting a nice little overlay too, about 6 to 1 versus 15 to 1 morning line. So maybe a little bit of value with Private Cabana, especially in the back end of your exactas and trifectas. Final time today, looking at race shape, the 7 and the 8. Mob Justice and Caddyman have not been close to the leader at the finished circle. But again, a lot of these horses only have a couple of races under their belt, so a little bit misleading. Everybody else so far has proven they want to be up on the front. That Bronx Tale, Terry, it was a good movie. I like the Bronx Tale. Does have that EP designation, so that could work out very well. Again, they go too slow, takes the lead. If they go too fast, just kind of hangs out. Early speed-wise, you're looking at a race that's pretty competitive out of the gate between the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 8. Big drop-off there to the 6, 7, and 3. And then finally, late speed. It does look like 1 stands out above the rest here indeed. Bronx Tale should be close to the front. Has some pretty good late pace in there, Terry. And if you look at the total pace figure in here, I mean, this one's 14 better than the next closest one, Private Cabana. This really should be the 1 horse's race to win. Just looking at the race shape, looking at the total pace, looking at the overlay. But I've seen way too many times horses that look like that on paper finish second. Tell me why today Bronx Tale's not going to finish second.
Well, I think he ran second in his last start. That was his first career race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 32% of the starts when taking a horse up 1 class. I like horses that go up in class. He has
Mhm.
a high percentage winning jockey. And, I was between him and the other horse as far as my bet of the day. So, anyway, the 5 Tatum, he drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 27% of the starts the first time in a maiden claiming race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days, been in the money 5 out of 10 times, winning 3 of those. The number 6, Marvelous Moon Dance, is my third choice, switches to high percentage winning jockey and can improve while returning to dirt. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He's tied with another. Mo Then Luck. The 2 is my long shot, drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, and should improve at this shorter distance. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the 1.
And I'm going to look at this race with the one horse too, but I'm a little bit concerned because it is coming off the maiden claiming in class. Not the biggest fan of that, but does have that total pace edge of 14 points over the next closest horse, does have that simulation odd edge. I mean, everything on paper says easy winner, like I said, but I've seen way too many horses that look like that finish second at Parx. Number 5, Tatum, is a pure maiden special weight dropper to maiden claiming. Biggest drop in all of horse racing. When I say pure, it means it's never run the maiden claiming race before. A lot of these others that, at least I think there's 1 or 2 others that ran maiden special weight last time that are coming back to the claiming ranks, but they've tried their luck at the claiming level before. This one likes the fast track, which is what we're going to see today. 7 times out, 3 seconds and 2/3, so been close. Mob Justice, the 8 horse, I think a wild card in here. It's the only other pure maiden special weight dropper. Just ran once in its debut, showed a lot of really early speed and just stopped. Today, it's going to get first-time Lasix, so that tells me the horse probably bled in its debut. The maiden special weight, early speed with Lasix combination could be enough at a nice price for Mob Justice to score the W here. And then Mo Then Luck, your 2 horse, my final pick as well, Terry. Was a tough call for me over your 6 horse, Marvelous Moon Dance. The 6 horse should be really competitive in here too, Terry, but it's had 30 chances to win. And this one is an NYRA track dropper with top jockey Pennington and did improve nicely in its only other second start off a layoff. So a lot of reasons to like the 2 horse, except it's 0 for 30. I know I have the 1 horse on top, but I'm going to exact the key box to 8 with all, because if that first time Lasix early speed maiden special weight drops off and it does manage to go wire to wire and I get a good price, might be that exact that you talked about that you hit when you were at Reno.
That's right. And I think this is a good way to go in this race, a really good way. So, yeah, because the one in Reno, I was sure that horse was going to win, the favorite. And so when he got beat by that big long shot, I was so happy that I had done that key box. So,
well, hopefully history repeats itself on YouTube and Facebook, wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. Twitter too, but I don't know how we measure people on Twitter who are watching. Race 10-7 with the 726 for the final exacta trifecta box for Christopher D'Souza. That's it for today for Parx, Terry. Tomorrow, you're going to go back into hiatus, back into hibernation.
That's right.
Until next Monday. The Big Boopa will return. Tomorrow we'll do Parx again. On Thursday, we'll do Kentucky Downs. And then probably Tom and I will go ahead and try Kentucky Downs again for Saturday. Here are our full picks at Parx today, Terry. Unfortunately, there will not be a Horse Center show tonight. I think with all of the tracks that kind of shut down after Labor Day, a lot of jockeys and people that we'd ordinarily have as guests are in transition to go from one place to the other. So we weren't able to secure a guest, and hopefully we'll be back tomorrow night. Any final thoughts, Terry, before you and I get up and out of here on this terrific Terry Tuesday?
Well, I'm just hoping that everybody has a really good week and safe, and that you enjoy your loved ones. And other than that, just stay true to yourselves. Do what you want to do as long as it's safe and not against the law.
All right. Well, and you can also, what you can do, and it is safe and it's not against the law, is you can go down below in the description and you'll find today's free track is Thistle Downs. Again, first race, Flipping Fish. I don't know how that one did, but
I do. I know how it did. Flipping Fish, I think, ran 4th, but the 9 horse, I believe, won that race. So.
All right, so the second pick was in there. And then one way you can help us out, a couple ways. First of all, I want to say thank you to let's say thank you to Beverly Taylor, Philip Perkins, Du Marooney, and Rebecca Pollard Rhodes for giving us the thumbs up today on Facebook. Unfortunately, we cannot see the thumbs up on YouTube, but any thumbs up, comments, and then another way you can help us too. So if you come down here, for example, go to our YouTube page. You'll see if you click on one of the videos. So please kindly, if you like the Parx picks today, and you know friends play Parx, you'll see down here there is a share button. If you kindly click that share button, copy the link, and then share it on your social site. That would be a great way to help us at no cost, and we'd appreciate it. Help us get us to 10,000 subscribers, which is the ultimate goal. And then finally, if you haven't done so yet, kindly follow us on our social sites. Horse Race, the number 2 day, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And then while you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can follow us. Outside of that, Terry, that wraps it up for today. We certainly hope that no matter what you're doing today, that you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do today, Terry, ends up in only one place, and that has to be
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to you tomorrow at Parx once again.